Let's talk some toys in here.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today it's the Man-Child. Okay, so today for review, we're going to take a look at the new Masters Universe, Masterverse, new Eternia Battle Armored Skeletor. Look at that. Yeah, so we finally get a Battle Armored Skeletor, or at least a Battle Armor now. It's removable off the new Eternia Masterverse Skeletor, which looks really cool. Looks like it also has removable or snap-out chest plates. So we already got the Battle Armor or Battle Armored He-Man back with the Revolution He-Man. So that's cool, you know, because there was a new Eternia Battle Armor He-Man, and that one wasn't removable. Still a good figure, but yeah, I'm so happy to see Skeletor now with a Battle Armor setup. Anyway, comes with a new helmet. Looks like a helmet going back to something like his Ram staff. Call it a Ram helmet or a Havoc helmet or something. And check out the art on the front of this cover. So not only do we have Battle Armor Skeletor here with, we got one strike and a chest plate going across there. Looks like he has a newer sword and axe. Actually, the sword looks like it's been used before. You can see in the background here, it's the same sword as this new Eternia Barbarian Skeletor has, from what I can see. But check this out. We got Snake Men teased on the art. That's awesome. Got Reptile Axe. And looks like a couple of the Snake Warriors. And then up in the right-hand corner, we also have Evil Lynn, which she was teased at San Diego Comic-Con. She is coming for the Masterverse New Eternia line. And here's a quick look at the photos and illustrations in the back of the box. So yeah, we just have a photo image of the Skeletor figure himself on the left-hand side, obviously. He's just holding his sword and axe in hand, getting ready to go to battle. And then going to the right-hand side, looks like, okay, so obviously we know that Ram Hood helmet comes off. So I want to say he has a newer head sculpt now and a chainmail hood instead of the purple hood Skeletor usually comes with. And dropping down here, just shows him once again with the helmet on, holding the sword. And then on this photo image here, looks like it just comes with the single strike that goes across that snapping chest plate for the battle armor. I don't think it comes with two, just the one. And here's a little closer look at this bio for the new Battle Armored Skeletor. You want to pause and read that. And then dropping down, these are all 4 figures that's included in the Wave 14 Masterverse series. And here's some more art on the right-hand side of the box. Looking in from the window, it's just Skeletor himself. And of course, once again, without that helmet on, you can see the chainmail hood much better. And of course, here's the art on the left-hand side of the box. And check that out. We have King Hiss sitting in the throne up top and some more of the Snake Man warriors. Here's a quick look around with Battle Armored Skeletor and all his accessories out of package. Yeah, this is one cool looking Skeletor, I gotta say that, with his armor, the head, and looks like he has the bigger chest as well. Right, so taking a closer look at this new Battle Armored Skeletor's head and skull and ram hood and all that good stuff. Man, that is awesome. I mean, I don't know what's cooler, the face, the new head, the skull, or the helmet. So yeah, obviously it just has 2 ram horns, just like his Havoc staff, ram staff. They don't articulate. It's all, it's just all part of the sculpt. Now, this is pretty sloppy. You got to mess around with adjust it. It sits right on top of this chainmail hood piece. But it does move around a lot. But, okay, something like that. Yeah, so awesome. I love the colors. Right? Spinning the head around. Check that out. Look at the back of the details. Got the spikes, the row of spikes going up back of the helmet. It's cool that they painted the trimming around the bottom of the helmet. Of course, the ram horns black. So as far as the articulation with this helmet on, so the head can spin all the way left, right. You can look all the way down and up about that far because the back of the helmet's hitting the armor. But that is such an incredible piece. And then just remove it. That's it. It just pops right off the head like so. And here's a close-up look at that helmet off the head. So these are really soft, these ram horns. As I said, they don't articulate, but yeah, soft rubber. And these, wait a minute. Okay, so they are on pegs. See that? That one popped off. I don't think they're supposed to. This one's glued, and that one came off. I just got to push it back on. Maybe put a little glue on it. So, okay, they do come off, but they're glued. Now, the overall helmet itself is, how's that? That's pretty soft as well. It's really open inside. It's large opening for, at least for that skull. I don't know if it's going to fit other figures' heads. So once again, jump back over to Skeletor. There's a look at the new head without the helmet on. That is awesome too. Look at that. Wow. That's such a cool face sculpt. I love the colors on it. Look how the sockets of the eyes, how deep they're sculpted. And then you have the red eyes glowing, painted on the inside. Now, does this jaw articulate? Let me see. Yes, it does. Check that out. Yep. Opens all the way up like so. It's even painted black in there. Of course, when you close it, right? So it's on a hinge up in the mandibular bone there. That's so cool. I did not expect that. I don't know if it articulated or not. And so as far as the articulation with the head and without the helmet on, left, right, go all the way down now and back. Go up, look up that far. You check out how far the chin bone point, goes out as well. Now you notice for the hood, he has a new, hood's like a chainmail hood, I want to say. Pretty cool. Sculpting, painted silver like chainmail. Now that looks like it's, all right, so let's turn around. Look at the back, all right. It's a separate piece, but it's glued, I believe. So, all right, let's remove the head off the body. And of course, there's a closer look at the head off the body, and so we know how far your jaw can articulate out. It can actually go down more, but the hood, like, I think it hinders it here. It gets caught. You can see that. Yeah, okay, so definitely a separate piece, but it's completely glued on to the head. I don't know why they did that. It would be cool if it was just a piece that just clipped on, so you can just have another full Skeletor, just a bonehead, or full skull head. Very similar to that Akala head that came with the Bone Throne, which I'll bring that in later for comparison. Okay, so once again, putting the head back on, moving down to the buck and new battle armored setup. Yeah, that's gorgeous. I love it. Check that out. So, yeah, we have our chest plate that's going to snap out. I'm assuming from the inside. We'll do that when we remove the armor. And he does come with the single, only one, just one snap and plate with the single strike, not two like the vintage figures came with. Well, actually, there's roll. That was an action feature. Or the classics, rather. I'm sorry. They came with a couple different plates. But yeah, you got that awesome looking, his bat symbol sculpted. And this is not like flat. This is like sculpted outwards. 3D kind of thing going here. And all the different painting and details in that bat. And you notice he has like newer shoulder armor that's flexible and can move with the arms. And these can come out too. They're on pegs, if you can see that. It pushes through the armored. But again, really cool detail. Yeah, large spikes, larger one up top. And they work their way down. There's 3 of them, painted black. Very similar to match this Ram helmet. They're identical on both the left and right side. And then moving down here too, you have a skull. It's like Skeletor, bone skull. Bone sculpted around the arm, which is cool. And then the additional steel reinforced plating that this snapping piece is in. Look at that. Amazing job. Wow. And then spinning them around, you get all this extra detail in the back. All this reinforced armor pieces, which is pretty cool, right? You can see how these things move once again. So, and then to remove this, so there's 2 buckles here, but let's keep this on for a minute and just do the arm articulation with these pieces. So, just typical Masterverse style arms, nothing new. As far as the articulation with these on, we go all the way out or up, down to his side, go forward, go back. Oh, this one's really tight. Go back. He has a bicep swivel. Can bend all the way up. Let me see, to the face. Yeah, okay, to the face, even with these armor pieces on. Yeah, the double hinge joints, nothing new. Yeah, the other arms are all the same, it looks like. As far as the articulation, oh wow, yeah, this one too is really stiff. All the same. And then the Skeletor has 2 semi-closed or open hands. Fingers are pretty soft, and they can spin, they go in and out in hinge joints, just like the other Skeletors we got. All right, so moving down to finish up the articulation with the legs and everything, and then we'll take the armor and everything off him. So he can spin at the waist, and with this battle armor on, now we should have an ab crunch, but obviously you're not going to do much with that. He has a newer style, like, yeah, hip and belt protector. Look at that, some kind of like samurai armor / hash type thing in the front. It's like a little piece of cloth coming down here. It's all part of sculpt, so are these pieces, but all one thing going, together with the belt, all part of sculpt. But look at that. Also has the ram horn Havoc, just like his staff. Well, he doesn't come with one, but yeah, excellent detail, painted silver, right? You can see little ram horns painted on the overall belt. We already talked about this. These plates too, these are really flexible. Pretty cool. Look how far they can go up. Again, I love this metallic purple color that they put on the armor. And these might be a little different though, and it's hard to tell in my light. Yeah, these look like they have a little more, very similar to the helmet, but the battle armor is a little, kind of looks different. It's hard to tell. Maybe it's just flat in certain areas. This looks the same. Anyway, it's a metallic purple color. And then the main belt's black all the way around, just the main belt itself. It's going to pop apart here in the back, which we'll remove soon. And as far as the articulation with the legs, with all that stuff on, you can go all the way out with a split. All right, we can kick forward, go all the way back, bend at the knee, spin at the knee, or spin at the boot, excuse me. And then with this piece too, he has a newer style chainmail loincloth, which, all right, we'll get into that soon when we remove this thing. And just finish up the articulation again with the boots. Now look at this. These are awesome looking boots. Wow. So we know we can spin at the boots, I already said, but this is a whole new design. I don't think we've seen these before. Again, you know, cast in that metallic purple color, match the armor and stuff like that. But look at that. Wow, the big points on the front. And, all right, both sides of that are the same. But look at the new feet too. He has like smaller toe. There's only 3 toes. Where, like, the Skeletor in the background, the Barbarian one has 5. Interesting. Pretty cool, but, yeah, really awesome-looking boots. And as far as the articulation, right, go up, down, and rock side to side. Again, I'm just testing the articulation on this. Sides are all the same, but, yeah, I love that design. Really cool. Okay, so once again, moving back up to the chest in this whole battle armored setup, let's take it off the body. So it looks like, as I mentioned earlier, there's going to be 2 snaps on the left and right side. You're just going to pull apart like so. And then it looks like we got to remove the head. And then this whole piece is going to pull right off the body. And here's a little close look at that battle armor off the body. So, yeah, it's really flexible, right? We already talked about these pieces here. Now, these can pull right off, pop right out of the pegs like so, okay? So better look at those off the main armor. You see these little tabs. The other side, I can do the same. I'm just going to leave it on for now. Well, we'll take it off. Make sure, right? There we go. So better look at the traditional battle armor. You don't want these things on. Make your Skeletor more vintage-like. And then as far as the chest plate armor piece, okay, so yep, you push it out from the inside with your finger like so. It's going to snap right out, and that's what the armor looks like without it. And there's your chest plate. You can see the little clips. And now I'm just going to bring in the other alternative chest plate with the strike in it. We'll put that in the armor while we're messing around with it. So you got to, like, let me see. All right, so you got to, the skull thing gets in the way, so you got to push it down, or push the skull out like this, and then snap the armor. You can see those little clips in like that. And once again, taking a look at Skeletor with the armor off, so check that out. He has a newer style, I'll call it the Revolution He-Man buck, because it's the first time I've seen it. Yep, the larger buck, that looks awesome. Of course, put the head back on, there's the front and back, and now with the armor off, of course, we have that ab cut crunch, like that, go up and down, and you can spin at that ab part. So, before we go any further with Skeletor, I just want to do a quick comparison with the Revolution He-Man against the new Battle Armored Skeletor. So, I just wanted to show that, yep, they're exactly the same buck. Everything as far as design with the aesthetics and the muscles, right? We already said the buck, stomach, the legs. All right, gotta get this out of the way. And the legs, side the boots and stuff like that, and loincloths, of course. But that's cool, and they're about the same size. And once again, moving back over to Skeletor, let's remove this skirt armor piece off his hips. So he's gonna have a little, see that little clip on the back, right? It's gonna pop apart like this. And of course, here's a quick look at this belt or groin protector off the body. See how soft it is. Better look at that detail, the havoc, the ram horn there, this piece, right? And there's the back of it. And now here's a complete look with Skeletor with all the armor pieces broken down off the body. And that's pretty much what you get, right? We already talked about the chest, the head. Familiar with the, he has a newer, larger buck. And this is the loincloth now. It's like a chainmail piece here, right? You can see how flexible it is. And he still has like a silver, yeah, kind of loin, or just, that's just the pelvic, the hip piece for this figure. It's like a new Eternia style belt. We know he spins at the waist, right? Familiar with the articulation. Has a thigh cut as well on both legs. And we know what the, we're familiar with the boots. And these can come off too with some heat. You want to remove them. And that's about it. Once again, moving forward with Battle Armored Skeletor's weapons and accessories. So yeah, it just comes with these 2 additional weapons, like showed on that illustrator or photo on the back of the box. So as I already mentioned, he gets the same curved sword again that the Barbarian Skeletor came with. I think they call it a scimitar. Right, so he does get that. And everything is identical side now. The back of the handle is black instead of gold. And then he comes with this new axe. I don't think we've had this before in the Masterverse. Looks new. So that's a pretty cool accessory. Got the sharp point in the back, the main axe on this side. Even have additional steel point in the front for a jabbing weapon if you wanted to. And then you have some wrapping details, like cloth on the back. And then you also have another point, which could be a weapon on the very back of it. So that's a cool looking axe for the Skeletor. So once again, bringing Skeletor back into the frame, have him all done back up with his armor, the helmet, right, the lower skirt guard. I did put a little glue on this ram horn that popped out just to hold it on, because again, the other side was glued, so I just glued that one. So let's put a couple weapons in hand, see what that looks like. Here's a quick look at that setup. So yeah, just put the axe in the right hand, the sword in the left, right? We have the helmet, everything back on the figure, obviously. Trying to pose him somewhat like that photo in the back of the box. Now he's having a little bit of trouble balancing. I think I got him set up okay. Just because these newer boots are very narrow. So see how he just wants to, I mean, of course I'm rotating him, but you got to mess around with it. I can get this foot okay with the knee bent, but even with the rocker joint, or the joint inside this foot, it's hard to get this. You got to mess around with it, I guess, something like that. See, and then he wants a full forward, wants a full back. But overall, it just makes sense to stand him up straight. All right, so once again, moving forward, let's do some comparisons and some mixing and matching of parts with the Skeletor with some other Skeletors. So here's our new Masterverse Battle Armor Skeletor against the 40th Anniversary Skeletor. This is a really awesome Skeletor, and yeah, he came in a 2-pack with the He-Man. It's like San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and they never released a single card version of him. There were some rumors, but they never did it. Really cool to have. Anyway, so I had those. Yeah, that's those two together now. I'm curious if this Battle Armor will fit on this Skeletor, because he has more of the traditional vintage Aspire head. Yeah, everything's vintage Aspire with this figure. That was the whole concept of him. They gave him the extra large chest like He-Man, which a lot of people were mixed on that. I thought it was cool. It was different. But aside that, let's see what kind of parts we can mix around with these two. So here's a look once again at the Masterverse Skeletor body, right? Just left the battle armor on. I took those shoulder pads off to keep it more vintage inspired or traditional. I put the 40th anniversary head on, and that jaw does articulate, by the way, having the mouth in an open position. I put that Skeletor protective belt on off the 40th anniversary, which is a little tight. It does work, but so you can't hide this chainmail belt that's on him. This is his loincloth underneath. There is a way to take that off. It's a big process. I'm not going to do that. I put the 40th anniversary Skeletor traditional weapons in hand, right? So we have the Havoc staff and the sword, which it would have been cool if they gave him this style sword, going back to the vintage figure. Problem with these accessories too, they're die-cast metal. The upper Havoc, the head, the ram head is die-cast, and the sword's die-cast well. Very heavy. And yeah, the arms don't hold them well all the time. You notice I had to put this on the ground. And I just left his boots on, so if you want to change these boots out, there's a way to do that. It's very time consuming with heat. They don't come off easy like Origins, so I'm just going to leave it. And I like those boots anyway. But I just wanted to give everybody a quick idea what this Skeletor would look like more traditional with these parts if you had the Skeletor. And of course, once again with the same setup, I just put the 40th anniversary cross armor on this body. So it does work because he has a larger chest, which this will work on a regular Skeletor too, the first release Masterverse. But it's a little sloppy, but because he has the larger chest, it works a lot better. So there's a quick look at that. And then the last thing I want to do with this setup is just put that new Eternia Skeletor head with the helmet on. So we have the cross armor from the 40th, right? This piece, the weapons, gonna leave the boots on. All right, so before we move forward with setting the 40th anniversary Skeletor up with the battle armor and heads and stuff like that, I want to do a quick comparison between the new Eternia Masterverse Skeletor body right on the side, and this is our 40th anniversary body. For people who aren't familiar, so you can see the difference. I mean, yeah, obviously the colors and stuff, but how large this chest design is, the overall, the ab. Right, here's the back. So that, yeah, this is a whole new design, this part, but the arms are exactly the same, muscle aesthetics, and so are the legs, of course, side to boots and loincloth and stuff like that, and the hands are the same too. So once again, taking a look at the 40th anniversary Skeletor, obviously I threw the battle armor on. Now, yeah, it does go over the body and fit, but you can't really get these snaps together. You might be able to get one side on if you really stretch it. See, like this, but it's pretty close. Yeah, but it's not, for the most part, you're not going to get it together. Maybe one side, and the other side definitely not. I just threw his regular belt protector back on. Just kept the head on, but yeah, that's as far as I'm going to go with this figure. But for the most part, the battle armor can fit over him, and looking at him forward, it works. But again, you can't get these together. So for the next comparison, I brought in the classics, regular Skeletor, a spare one I had, just right, the regular crossbone armor, and some Masterverse Skeletor. Just a quick look at those two as far as size, height, muscle aesthetics, and all that good stuff, right? So let's see what kind of parts we can match with these two. So once again, here's a quick look with the Masterverse New Eternia body, right, boots on, with the classic Skeletor head and crossbone armor. So you can put classics heads on these bodies, but they're always really tight to push down and they don't articulate too well. But if you want to use classics heads on these bodies, you can. And the cross armor did work, but I really had to stretch it against this bigger buck, which I don't like doing that. See, when I pop that, see, it falls all the way down. And then there's nothing, you can't change out this loincloth belt. This is all part of the classic sculpt. And once again, jumping back over to the classics Skeletor body, there's a look at the battle armor on the classics. It fits really well. I did have to stretch a little bit on one side, have his head on. I tried putting the axe in hand. All right, there you go. He's holding that. And the other thing I should probably point out too, I want to see if this helmet would fit over the hood of the classics. I also tried it on the 40th anniversary. I didn't show that, but yeah, not really. See, it go on like that, but for the most part, it's meant for a head that's more narrow. I was hoping this can slip over the hood. Something like that. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't want to break nothing. Yeah, it kind of looks wacky. So you can see how narrow this head with the chainmail design is even over a classics head, which is kind of narrow in itself, at least for the Skeletor. And then lastly, as far as the classics, so yeah, I just added those two spiked shoulder guards onto the battle armor. I put that newer belt on the back. It fits really well. And I did put the head on, the Masterverse one, but see, here's the problem with the classics, very loose. It just sits there. Now you can put some tape or maybe nail polish in there if you wanted to, just to put the head on. And it will articulate, stuff like that for the most part. You could set it up on your shelf. If you had a classics, you want to put these parts on a figure. You can make it work, but it's not going to work normally because, again, it's too loose. So next up, I brought in an Origin Skeletor. This is the Skeletor from the Stranger Things 2-pack. This one was cool, not only because it had head and the eyes, but it had the vintage-inspired colors, I believe, on the body and somewhat on the armor. So now the first thing, going back to the head, or just hood on this Origin Skeletor, yeah, the helmet's not going to go down. Not going to work either. Yeah, but aside that, let's see if these parts will fit on this body. And now, there's a quick look at that setup. So yeah, the battle armor and the shoulder pieces fit really well in the Origins, okay? This piece, it fits, but it's very loose in the back. So you could put a piece of tape or somehow you can reinforce this just to hold that, like push it out if you want to put this on a body. So it catches up on the lower part of the armor and doesn't look bad, does fit well. And then, of course, I left this head on. It is a little tight because of how this steel, battle armor collar comes up. But the head does work, and you can only look, you can't go back all the way, which is fine, go straight. But the head can articulate down, go left to right. And you have flexibility in the arms and legs go all the way out with this piece as well. And you can hold the axe somewhat. Yeah, somewhat. These Origins have terrible hands, I always say. And the sword ain't going to work either because it's just a design with the particular hands. But for the most part, the armor in this piece can work. And then lastly, as far as Origins, I just put that New Eternia Skeletor head on, right? So I'm going to keep the helmet on for now with the battle armor set up, axe in hand. Just a quick look at that setup. And that articulates really well, somewhat. But see, it has a hard time. Oh, there we go. And then you want to see it without the helmet. Look like that. So how does this... Okay, so, all right. So, I'm having problems with the peg here. There we go. And that's about it. Looks pretty cool. So once again, moving forward for next comparison and mixing and matching the parts. So here's our New Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor, right? Just put the head and helmet on, leave the armor up, save time. And this is the New Eternia Skeletor that came with the Bone Throne. Now he does have a smaller chest, where his is a little bit larger. I'll show that in a second when I break the armor off him. And then we can't really remove this traditional Skeletor style belt protector. And this one, as I already mentioned, you can. Again, it's a big process to remove these and switch them around. But anyway, it's those two together. So let me remove the parts off him, and I'll compare the two bodies. So here's a quick comparison between the two. So once again, this is our New Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor with the larger chest, right? Here's the just regular New Eternia Skeletor, came with the Bone Throne. Now the skin tones are very different. He has a wash all over his body too. I bring that point up because if you wanted to take these boots off and remove these these particular ankle guards, because he has full feet, put them on his figure, just to have these toes if you want that barefoot look. I guess it could kind of work, but see, the wash throws it off. I guess it could work because it's so low. So that's a look at those two. And then he has the Akala head with the hood that's removable. I'll get into that in a second. But aside that, beside the chest, I think the stomach design was a little the same. The lower ab has some different textures in it, where this one's more smooth. But the arms and everything else is the same. And is this figure taller? Yeah, look at that. So with the newer Buck 2, they are taller. These with this design, just like He-Man. There's the back. So once again, focusing on the new Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor. Skeletor with the larger chest, Buck. Right, it's a quick look at that setup as far as the crossbone armor that came off this regular Skeletor. Now, all the other Skeletors in our collection, we have quite a few of them out. They all share the same aesthetic, so I'm not going to get involved in the first release, the Horde Skeletor and stuff like that. I'm just focusing on what these parts do in a larger Buck, and of course what the parts do in this body. So here's a quick look at that setup. Now this does fit, but it looks really tight in the chest. I don't know why they didn't make this. They should have made this armor a lot, just a little bit like looser or something like that, the classics. Anyway, and of course I put the head on. So just a quick look at that setup. And now I just put that extra hanging piece of armor with the cape on, the Skeletor with the head and helmet on. Shows a quick look at that. And the Barbarian New Eternia Skeletor also came with something similar like this. The one that sits in my background, the bone thrown there. So he has that, but the colors are darker purple. And then with the same setup, I just threw that Akala head on this New Eternia body, or the larger Buck body. Take a look at that. Slip the cape and stuff on. Pretty cool. And if you're not familiar, so this Akala head does articulate, which is cool. And the hood does come off. I got to remove the head, and because I'm going to try this helmet on it, see if it fits on the skull. And there's a quick look at that Akala head on this body with the overall setup. Of course, I removed the hood. So that's pretty cool. It's one of the first Skeletor heads we have that's just a full skull without anything glued and stuck to it, unless you're getting a custom stuff. I have a couple custom ones. That looks pretty cool. Now, the question is, will this hood fit on the head? Yep. It's a little loose. Again, you can always put some tape or something in to reinforce it just to tighten it up, but it will fit on that Akala head. Articulates and stuff like that. So that's, all right, that's neat. So once again, with the same setup, another thing I thought of is putting the first release Revelation Skeletor head on this body. So I removed the Akala head, but I want to do that not only for this head, because it was a cool head. It's different for the time, very narrow. But to be fair, it's still smaller than a Akala head. I wanted to see if this helmet will fit on that head with that hood, because it's so narrow. Yeah, kind of does. You got this hood piece sticking out. It's not the greatest fit, because it wants to rock back a little bit. You see that? So yes and no, it fits, but it wants to fall back again. You can put something tacky in here to hold it, and if you did, it would look like that on that head. And now, finally moving back over to that new Eternia Skeletor with the regular first release Buck body. So just look at that setup with the battle armor on. So of course it's going to fit. It is larger. It's not too sloppy. I did put this other belt guard over his existing belt guard, so that can fit as well. And of course I have the Akala head on with just the skull. So just a quick look at that setup. And then the other thing is, this piece fit on the battle armor. Yeah, kind of. You want it to. You want to have a cape on him. This cape from that figure, or the Barbarian Skeletor figure. And then what about the helmet? I'm going to, yeah, see, the helmet's not going to work with all this. All right, so get that out of the way. Let's put the helmet on his head. And there you go. Just a quick look at that setup as far as the body. And overall, all we're gaining is just a different body. The feet, these things, stuff like that, the different loincloth. And then the last thing I want to do is just throw that new Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor head on his body with the overall setup. I put this piece on again. You have to move it all the way down. Again, I mean, the whole point of the battle armor, it doesn't make sense to have this on. But if you wanted to, it works well with one of these heads without the helmet. And as I said, now, how about the helmet? Nope, not going to work with this piece. So let's get this off one more time. Put the helmet on a head with the setup. And moving forward, once again, we have Battle Armor Skeletor all set back up with his Battle Armor and accessories. At least I just put the axe in hand. Can leave that head on with the helmet. And of course, like every new Skeletor, got to see what he looks like on Panther. And what better Panther in the Classics line, which is really cool. So there's a quick look at that Skeletor on Panther. Now, there is a Masterverse Panther coming out sometime this year, maybe in the next year. For announced at San Diego Comic-Con, if you're not familiar. And I think they're just reusing that Revelation Battle Cat Buck, but he has some newer armor and stuff like that from what I've seen. Anyway, okay, and before we finish the video up, one of the last things I wanted to try, which I think is pretty important, cool, is how does a new Battle Armor Masterverse Skeletor sitting a bone throne with all that armor on. Fits perfectly. Yeah, this was a good piece. This fit a lot of figures really well. I don't have my batteries in with the lights. I already reviewed this. You can go check it out if you want. The flickering, stuff like that. But that's awesome. And also with the same setup, I just wanted to try that Akala head with the hood on this Skeletor body with the battle armor setup on. I don't think I tried that yet. And let's keep in the bone throne for now. Quick look at that. And that looks awesome too. That's a really cool head for Skeletor. Alright, so that about sums it up. And that's my overall review for the new Master Universe, Masterverse, New Eternia, Battle Armored Skeletor. Of course, I'm set up against the Battle Armored He-Man. This is the first Revelation, or it's a Viking He-Man body. Excuse me. I put the loincloth on, the boots. This is the battle armor that came off the Revolution He-Man. I have a custom vintage-inspired head. So, yeah, let's quick look at that setup. I showed him before. But anyway, thought it'd be fun to bring our battle armor He-Man in with the battle armor Skeletor as part of the Masterverse series. Quick look at those two. But I got to say, this is an incredible Skeletor. Wow. I love the head sculpt. That hood's really cool. Battle armor, just perfect. I like those shoulder pieces, and they can come off easy. This new belt or hip guard protector is cool. Come off easy. And again, you can change out the boots if you want to. And I love that they gave him the larger chest, just like the Revolution He-Man. Now, this He-Man doesn't have the larger chest. I put the battle armor on him because it makes him look like he has a larger chest. And then I put that new cross armor on the Revolution He-Man because he has a larger chest because you see it. It's kind of why I did that. And just add a different custom side that. He came out great. And this whole wave for Wave 14 looks really good now. Just want to tease too. So I do have the new Man-at-Arms. Just quick tease, look at that, right? There's the back, so I can't wait to get the review of this guy. And here's an inbox tease of the new Sorceress Teela. She looks great. And she also comes with one of these snakes too, if you look on the back. That's pretty cool. Wraps around her arm. And lastly, here's a quick look at the new Eternia Merman. That is an awesome looking Merman. You can't believe he actually has lenses for the eyes, and the pupils are inside the lenses, not paint. Has some cool new armor, weapons. So I can't wait to, I'm going to probably review him next. He looks really awesome. So, as usual, I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, take care.